They are everywhere. Those men who, without saying a word, command the environment with their presence. When they enter a restaurant, heads turn. When they speak, everyone listens. It's not about money or appearance. It's about elegance. And the most fascinating thing, this elegance comes mainly from what they don't do. Tom Ford said that elegance is refusal. And he was absolutely right. In the salons of Paris, on the streets of Milan, or at events in New York, truly refined, men follow a silent code that separates them from the ordinary, a code that often goes unnoticed by those who weren't educated to recognize it. You can have the most expensive suit in the world, the most dazzling watch, but if your behavior betrays you, everything goes down the drain in seconds. Have you noticed how Prince William never makes slips in public, how we never see Cary Grant in embarrassing situations in all those historical records? This is no coincidence. The truth is that there is an abyss between having money and having class, between wearing expensive brands and having true elegance. And this abyss is built by daily habits, by conscious choices, by self-discipline that many cannot maintain. Today, I will reveal the 8 behaviors you will never see in a genuinely refined and well-raised man. And believe me, avoiding them costs absolutely nothing beyond attention and self-respect. 1. Being noisy in restaurants. The silence of a refined man is deafening. When George Clooney is in a restaurant, you barely notice his presence until someone points it out. Truly elegant. Men have full control over the volume of their voice. Enter any 5-star restaurant in Manhattan and observe. Men of true class speak in a tone that only their table can hear. Their laughter is contained, not because they don't feel joy, but because they respect the shared acoustic space. Meanwhile, at the next table, someone yells on the phone about details of their private life, as if they were in their own backyard. They tell intimate stories out loud, laugh shrilly every 3 sentences, and behave as if the entire restaurant were interested. In their conversation, the difference is stark. One attracts looks of admiration, the other of irritation. Chef Thomas Keller of the renowned restaurant Per Se once commented that he can identify truly classy clients before they even place their orders, simply by the way they occupy the sonic space of the environment. The elegant man understands that his voice should not be an imposition on others. He keeps phone conversations brief and in a low tone when in public, or simply says, "I'm in a restaurant, can I call you in a few minutes?" Suck, and here's the truth that many don't want to hear. Your loud voice in public doesn't communicate confidence or authority. It communicates insecurity and lack of consideration. If you wonder why certain doors never open for you socially, perhaps the answer lies in the volume of your presence. 2. Borrowing important personal items. Observe genuinely elegant men for long enough, and you will notice they rarely, if ever, borrow things, especially items of significant or personal value. Pierce Brosnan doesn't borrow his friend's Patek Philippe watch for an event. He understands the value of personal objects and respects both his own space and that of others. The watches he wears are his, the suits he displays belong to him. There's a fine line between intimacy and invasion. Refined men know this line precisely and never cross it, even among close friends. The classy man avoids borrowing someone's luxury car, vacation home, or that designer suit. Not because he can often if he asked he would receive a yes, but because he understands that certain items carry emotional and financial value that goes beyond the object itself. Ralph Lauren, an icon of men's fashion, once commented, "That style is personal, like a fingerprint. Constantly borrowing means you haven't yet found your own identity in the world." The elegant man prefers to have fewer pieces, but ones that are genuinely his, than a collection of borrowed or fake items. He builds his personal collection with time and care instead of trying shortcuts. When a genuine emergency arises, us with delicacy, thanks profusely and returns the item in better condition than he received it. But these situations are exceptions, not the rule. Want to know if you're on the right track? Ask yourself, if I couldn't borrow anything for an entire year, what would my life be like? The answer can reveal a lot about your true independence. 3. Overdoing alcohol in public. If there's one thing that instantly separates a refined man from an ordinary one, it's his relationship with alcohol in social settings. You will never see a truly elegant man stumbling at an event, talking too loudly because of drink, or being the last to leave a party because he lost track of time and moderation. Gregory Peck was known for rarely drinking more than one glass of whiskey at public events. Daniel Craig keeps the same drink throughout the night at official receptions, often without even emptying it. The refined man understands that alcohol is an accompaniment, not the center of the social experience. He appreciates the flavor, the ritual, the tradition behind a good whiskey or a well-prepared cocktail, but never loses control. A recent Harvard University study showed that people who maintain control over their alcohol consumption are perceived as 68% more trustworthy in professional environments. It's not surprising that the men who reach the top are rarely those seen in excess at corporate happy hours. Cary Grant, a legend of classic cinema and eternal symbol of elegance, once stated that elegance is knowing when to stop. This applies perfectly to alcohol consumption. The refined man knows exactly what his limit is and stops well before it. He holds his glass with delicacy, drinks in small sips, and keeps his composure intact from the beginning to the end of the event. When he realizes he's reached his limit, which is always well before any behavioral change, he discreetly switches to water or simply politely refuses another round. Elegance doesn't mean abstinence. It means control. And control over oneself is perhaps the most admirable characteristic in a classy man. 4. Chewing gum inelegantly. It seems like an insignificant detail, but small habits reveal a lot. A genuinely refined man understands that chewing gum in public, especially in a visible or audible manner, is simply inappropriate. Throughout the recent history of the British royalty, you will never find a single photo of Prince Philip chewing gum. Even among celebrities known for their refinement, such as Marcello Mastroianni or Sidney Poitier, this image doesn't exist. It's not that an elegant man never uses gum. He understands the occasional practical necessity. The difference is in the form and context. If needed, he will do it with absolute discretion, without exaggerated jaw movements, without pops, and certainly without making bubbles. At social events, operas, formal dinners, or professional meetings, the refined man will opt for more discreet alternatives to freshen his breath. A small mint that dissolves quickly, a mouth spray in the bathroom, or simply good prior oral hygiene. International etiquette experts agree, chewing gum sends subconscious signals of immaturity and inattention. A Princeton University study showed that executives who chew gum during meetings are rated as 23% less professional by their peers. And when he finishes using the gum, he will never stick it under a table or discard it on the floor. The elegant man will always have a tissue at hand to discard it discreetly, or will find an appropriate trash bin. As Ralph Lauren, an icon of international fashion, once observed, elegance is not standing out, but being remembered. Part of that memorable presence comes from eliminating habits that diminish your dignity, no matter how small they may seem. It's in the details that true class reveals itself, and chewing gum in public is a detail that can instantly compromise your image. 5. Leaving mess in public places. Observe carefully, and you'll notice a truly refined man never leaves traces of his presence in public spaces unless they are positive. When Matt Bomer leaves a Parisian cafe, his table is practically untouched. When Prince Rainier finishes a meal, the waiters barely need to clean beyond removing the dishes. This is no coincidence. The elegant man discreetly organizes his space. Before leaving, napkins are folded and placed beside the plate, not crumpled on top of the food. Chairs are repositioned as they were. Nothing is left out of place. On airplanes, the difference is even more striking. While many leave seats full of wrappers, open magazines and crumpled blankets, the refined man delivers his space to the flight attendant almost as he received it, organized and clean. In a survey conducted by the International Etiquette Association, 87% of luxury hospitality professionals stated that they can identify truly elegant guests by how they leave their rooms, even before meeting them personally. This goes beyond simple courtesy. It reveals a deep respect for shared spaces and for the people who work in them. The refined man doesn't act this way because someone is watching, but because it's part of who he is. As Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, explained, "I always observe how people treat waiters and how they leave public bathrooms. Character reveals itself in details that many think nobody notices." The elegant man understands that his responsibility for a space doesn't simply end because he's leaving. He leaves each place better, or at least the same, as he found it. This simple habit instantly separates truly refined men from those who only pretend to be. 6. Eating awkwardly while walking. In Rome, tourists eat ice cream while walking through Piazza Navona. In Paris, elegant Parisians sit in a cafe to savor the same ice cream with a small spoon. This difference seems subtle, but it's deeply revealing. A genuinely refined man understands that eating deserves its own time and space. He will rarely, if ever, be seen eating while walking on the street, driving a car, or on public transportation. Gianni Agnelli, the legendary Italian businessman considered one of the most elegant men of all time, was known for never being photographed eating in public. Not out of shame or affectation, but because he understood that meals deserve focus and presence. The nutritionist to the British royalty, Gabriel Peacock, revealed that one of the first etiquette lessons that newer members receive when joining the royal family is, never eat while walking. Find a place to sit, even if just for 5 minutes. This principle has nothing to do with snobbery. It's about respect for food and for yourself. Eating hurriedly, biting into a sandwich while crossing the street or walking through the mall communicates to the world that you don't devalue this essential moment of the day. The elegant man prefers to wake up 15 minutes earlier to have his breakfast at home, calmly, than to swallow a piece of bread in a rush on the way to work. If he needs to eat out, he finds a bench, a table, any appropriate surface, and dedicates a few minutes to this small meal. During a business lunch with Bernard Arnault, CEO of the LVMH Group, a young executive made the mistake of starting to eat while still talking about his project. He gently interrupted him. "Let's first finish our conversation, then enjoy the food. Both deserve our full attention." The lesson is clear. Separating moments, giving each activity its due attention, is a trademark of true elegance. 7. Letting doors slam in other people's faces. It may seem like an insignificant detail, but how a man deals with doors reveals volumes about his social awareness and refinement. A truly elegant man never lets a door close in the face of someone coming behind him. He instinctively holds the door with a fluid and natural movement that does not draw attention to itself, but that demonstrates awareness of shared space. Tom Hanks, known for his kindness, is often observed by security guards and assistants. For this simple habit, he always checks if anyone is coming before passing through a door and holds it discreetly when necessary. This gesture goes far beyond simple courtesy. It communicates a powerful message. I am aware of your existence. You matter. In a world where many live in their own bubbles, this awareness of others is increasingly rare and therefore increasingly noticed. As Giorgio Armani, master of minimalist elegance, once commented, elegance is not about big dramatic gestures, it's the small, consistent details that really impress. Interestingly, a Yale University study on perceptions of social class showed that one of the behaviors most consistently associated with high-class people was precisely attention to shared doors and passages. The refined man finds the perfect balance. He doesn't hold the door for an excessive amount of time, creating embarrassment for someone who is distant, nor does he close it carelessly when someone is about to pass. This behavior reflects a fundamental quality of true elegance, consideration for others without drawing attention to the gesture itself. It's doing what is right when no one is looking, or better, when you think no one is looking. In truth, the most observant people always notice, and these are exactly the people who open the most important doors in life. 8. Taking off shoes in the office. The professional environment has its own codes of conduct, many of them unwritten, and one of the most subtle, yet revealing, is how a man deals with his shoes in the office. A genuinely refined man will never be seen barefoot or in socks in the corporate environment. Even if his shoes are causing discomfort after hours of use, he maintains his composure and professional appearance intact. Tom Ford, fashion designer and film director, is known for wearing his impeccable suits throughout the day. Meetings, fashion shows, filming, without ever showing discomfort or removing parts of his attire, even in long work sessions. The elegant man plans ahead. If he knows he'll have a particularly long day, he chooses footwear that combines comfort and style. If necessary, he can discreetly change shoes from a more formal model to a more comfortable one, for example. But always in privacy, never in common spaces. The behavior of taking off shoes in the office communicates a message of excessive informality that can compromise your professional authority. A Harvard Business Review survey showed that executives judge collaborators as 33% less professional when they see them without shoes in the workplace. As Brunello Cucinelli, Italian fashion magnate, explained, part of being taken seriously professionally is maintaining a consistent image. Details matter, especially for those seeking to rise in their career. The intelligent solution. Many refined men keep an extra pair of comfortable yet elegant shoes in their drawers or closets at the office. The change, when necessary, is made discreetly, without transforming the workspace into an extension of the domestic living room. The truth is that the professional environment, even with all the recent changes towards greater casualness, still has limits that define what is appropriate. The elegant man knows these limits and respects them not because of external pressure, but because he understands the value of dignity in all environments. As Christian Dior once observed, professionalism is in the details that many consider irrelevant. Now, these 8 behaviors may seem simple or obvious to some, but they are exactly the seemingly insignificant details that separate truly refined men from the rest. Authentic elegance doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't demand attention. It naturally attracts it. It doesn't impose itself, it inspires. And most importantly, it's not a matter of birth or fortune, but of consistent daily choices. Here's the truth that few admit. You can have the most expensive wardrobe in the world, but if your behavior betrays you, all investment is wasted. If this video touched on a sensitive point, if you identified with any of these habits to avoid, do not despair. True elegance is within reach of anyone willing to pay attention to details and make conscious choices. If you want more content on how to develop your elegance and presence, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. Each week, we bring new insights on how to transform refinement into real power. Comment below. Elegance is a choice. This will help me know that you made it this far and value quality content. Your transformation into a man of true elegance begins now. And remember, the world always makes way for those who know how to carry themselves.